This is a game I played against EleaTyrell in round 3 of Raccoon Cup 92 and thought I'd share. She's clearly a much better player than I am, much more experienced, and I come very close to beating her. I believe having an actual line to beating her in the final turns of the game, and end up throwing it away by not seeing the correct line, which isn't all that uncommon. I have a few people that I seem to be able to come relatively close to beating, but I tend to be the one that makes the mistake first. So here, with 3 top tier units, Warrior, Priest, Mercenary, and Berserker, I'd like to ban 1, otherwise my opponent's going to end up with 2 top tier units to my 1. With Enlist in play, I think Merc is the second best unit behind Berserker, so I'm going to ban that. She bans Berserker, and the rest of the draft is fairly straightforward. I take Swordsman and Royal Guard here, because they're clearly the best of the remaining units. She goes heavily crossbow in the first round after drawing both coins in opening hand. This is going to prove to be a real problem for me later on. I can't move my Warrior Priest anywhere toward the crossbow's range because it's going to be very active in the coming rounds. In retrospect, I think my Enlist should have been a Warrior Priest and a Royal Guard instead of a Warrior Priest and a Swordsman. Guard could do a good job of pressuring the crossbow, while the Swordsman, it's fine, but I found myself wishing that I hadn't had the spare Swordsman in my bag. I bolster Warrior, Priest, and Swordsman because most forward movements put me in crossbow range, and it has 3 coins in bag. I recruit the Royal Guard now, though I'm wishing I didn't have the spare Swordsman in my bag. Right away, it strikes me as a mistake. So she marches up the crossbow, and without any Warrior Priest coins in bag, I can't really move in to pressure the crossbow, because it can double tap before I can do anything else. I decide to flip a coin. I've got Royal coin and Swordsman in my bag. This is the spot where, if that Swordsman had instead been a Royal Guard, I could have had a 100% chance to protect my Warrior Priest. Moving the Royal Guard up 1 with the Warrior Priest activation would have felt pretty good, I think. Here, I decide I'm going to march up, and we end up doing a little bit of a positioning shuffle, though I have the slightly larger bag and the less active Warrior Priest as a result. I'm going to move down to the center of these 3 points to make her shuffle back and forth, and I'm going to move up the Swordsman to threaten the unclaimed point as opposed to taking the one that's right next to it. Eventually, I'd like to take this point with the Footman. Alternatively, if she moves Earl onto this point, I could attack and then move the Swordsman back here if it felt too threatening. With no Royal Guard coins here, I'm just trading her active crossbow coins for my future Guard coins. I'm hoping I can gain some tempo and threaten her crossbow next bag. Again, I'm going to recruit a Swordsman here. I think this is part of a pattern of too frequent recruitment that I continue to regret fairly immediately. At this point, I'm hoping I can grab this point with the Warrior Priest and 2 of these 3 unclaimed points to get my 6 before my unit losses catch up. I do manage to take out a crossbow, but it has been just absolutely wrecking me. Here, I'm going to take another swordsman. And I'm going to bolster this warrior priest off with just the 1 coin left in bag. Grab another footman, and we're just going to try and move this footman up and onto this point, and move swordsman either here, or if I can get over here. Now I triple bolster the swordsman, which may have been a mistake. I'm hoping I can keep it alive long enough to take the point just above it, and there's quite a bit of aggression that it's going to need to withstand. I bolster the warrior priest here, which may have been a critical mistake. I could have moved it down toward the other uncontrolled point, but I was concerned that the crossbow could move down and kill it, leaving the swordsman surrounded and unable to hold the point long enough for the footman to move up. I'm feeling pretty good about this game at this point though, with 5 points taken, and I've now got a couple of active units that are moving towards the 6th point. Drawing 3 footmen here was actually pretty sweet, though I have to trade one off to prevent crossbow from moving on to the point. But I'm able to get another one down, and the bag is clearly, doesn't have another crossbow in it, and I get a move plus an attack here. Bolster the swordsman, and OP takes initiative. This is going to let me move swordsman down onto the point. Clearly the bag this round was royal coin, crossbow, crossbow, which is fairly lucky for me. Here I've got a clear path to victory, which I choose not to take. So here I attack Earl. I'm, in retrospect, not sure exactly what I was thinking. I think I had plotted out that there was going to be some impediment to me getting footmen over fast enough, but what I'm seeing now is that if I had just controlled, which I do start to control, and then I end up attacking the Earl. If I had controlled, what happens here is that I can move over. I can bolster again, so I end up here with a double swordsman and a footman that is here going second. So to here, I needed to have not taken initiative. Because I did not take the location and attack the Earl instead, I have to take initiative or my swordsman is dead before it can control. That's the critical mistake, is not controlling with the swordsman, which forces the initiative take which ends up putting me just one move behind. Because what's going to happen here is, so I take, but I can no longer get the footman onto this point and control it without it being crossbowed to death, unless there are exactly 2 crossbows left in her bag. If I had been going second, I could have moved as last move, soaked a hit, and been able to take the point just fine. As is, there are indeed 2 crossbows in the bag. I am just dead. Very close. Made a couple of errors. I need to work on my level of recruiting. But I thought this was a fairly good game otherwise. Thanks for watching.